Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Same to you, Representative.
You too, Tom. Mr. Chair,
Good morning.
morning.
Hey, KB.
Morning.
You guys all set?
Yep, we're good to go.
All right. I'm gonna just listen in. We're getting
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Judiciary Committee. I'm going to call to order this public hearing for Friday, March 17th, 2023. I have a couple of people on the list, but we should be out of here in relatively short order. We're going to begin with Clive Milton and Michelle Milton. So you may come up, approach that bench right there. When you sit down, press the little button in front of you to turn on the mic. Well, the microphone just got turned on. Make sure you speak into the microphone and announce your name before you begin. That microphone is active as well. And you each have 3 minutes to provide your testimony to the committee.
Thank you. Good morning. My name's Clive Milton. It's my wife, Michelle. We wish to oppose, you'll have to excuse me, I have a cold and I'm not doing too well this morning. We want to oppose the claims commissioner's motion for additional time to dispose of our case. He's had 3 years since we filed it. I was 68 when I filed it. It hasn't been fast-tracked, privileged as it's supposed to have been. And it's possible that because he wants another unspecified time, that it could take another 3 years. And then if we get permission, then it goes to, we have to start the litigation process. That could take another 5 years. So that means I would be probably in my early 80s by the time we get to trial. And that is 100% unacceptable, obviously. We should have, we should have both been fast-tracked. We weren't. There was supposed to be a pre-hearing and hearing. And in fact, everything, all the statutes in Title 41, sorry, 4, none of them have been adhered to by anybody at the Claims Commissioner or the Attorney General. So really, I don't really understand the point of having rules and regulations if neither the Claims Commissioner nor the Attorney General have to follow them. It was 1.5 years before the Claims Commissioner responded. It was 1.5 years before the Attorney General responded. And basically, the Claims Commissioner has ultimate say and discretion. Even if we get permission, he can vacate the case at any time during or after the litigation. So the Title 4 has some serious issues, and they all seem to be weighted towards the state. It's to deter people like us from filing any kind of claim because it takes too long. It's just a deterrent. It's the same as trying to claim sovereign immunity. We made our claim based on the fact that the state, as the employer of record for the judicial system, the judiciary, they're responsible for what the judiciary do and say during the course of their work. So far, we've had to have 4 judges recused. We filed peremptory challenges to Judge Shaban because of his apparent bias and prejudice. He's delayed this case. He's been overly sympathetic and to the defendants, which is an insurance company, but that's a whole issue. Title 4 needs some serious revamping, and I'd be happy to talk to the judiciary and explain where the problems really lie.
I believe the first 3 minutes have elapsed, so you have 3 minutes left to go in total.
Does it matter which of us speak? Can I continue?
You are together, so you can choose to use your 6 minutes how you want to.
Okay, I'm going to continue then. We've been significantly prejudiced by the Claims Commissioner's office, who's failed to comply with Title 4 management of state agencies, CGSA 4157. So I want to know what this committee is going to do about it. Will you give us the opportunity to sue the state for its failure to train and supervise the judicial authorities? Because one example is that I have my wife's durable power of attorney, and every court we've been in, it's not accepted. The judges will say, well, this is my court. I'm not going to accept it. You're not an attorney. So if you're not an attorney, what's the point of being given and granted a power of attorney? You're the agent for that person. So this is one very specific issue, which has been a real boondoggle for us. That the courts seem to be able to make whatever decisions they want, when they want, at their discretion. And discretion is to our mind, it's a real problem and needs to be addressed more fully in maybe a larger judiciary hearing. Also in Title 4157, the Claims Commissioner doesn't have to follow, and the rule shall avoid formal and technical requirements, which means he can make up his own rules and procedures as he sees fit. Another issue is 4-159, presentations to the General Assembly by the Claims Commission. I believe that happens on February the 5th every year or somewhere thereabouts. So if you miss the bus, then you have to wait another year to have your claim submitted to the legislature. Can anybody here explain to me why the Judiciary Committee believes the Claims Commissioner statutes is fair and equitable statute when it's so biased and in favor of the state? And what does CGSA 415A mean? The Claims Commissioner can ask for another unspecified amount of time to dispose of the claim. And it says this subsection shall minimally include, minimally. So we're held to a very high standard for our claim. We haven't been given the opportunity because the Claims Commissioner and the Attorney General have not followed the law. We have been held to the very, very highest standards in the court that we were in for our damage that was done to our house against the insurance company. It seems that the insurance company and the insurance commission.
Sorry, I couldn't get my microphone to work. I'm going to see if there are questions from the committee. Representative Fishbone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for coming here today. So I agree that our statutes are not clear in this area. But I will inform you that, you know, over the last many years, there's been a lot of problems with the claims process in Connecticut. Last year, we passed a law that actually said that the claims commissioner, when they want an extension, as in your case, they have to let us know why. Because as you recognize, it doesn't say anything in the language that you're looking at. Well, that language we changed last year. Unfortunately, the claims commissioner left that position at the beginning of this legislative session. They are statutorily required within 5 days of the legislative session beginning to file a report with us. And part of that is what I mentioned. Within the report this year, there was no information as to, you know, why an extension was necessary. So your particular case, and I believe there's approximately 100 of them, are in the same boat, not necessarily based upon time. The problem procedurally is that we can do one of three things. We can deny your claim, which would be improper, in my opinion, because nobody's actually adjudicated it. We could grant you a permission to sue, or we could grant the extension. Now, last year, what we did when we ran into all these extensions is we didn't say, yes, you can just have an extension. We gave a particular time period, I believe it was 90 days, to bring the file to a conclusion. I will tell you that on Monday's agenda, this committee is going to be interviewing and probably approving of a new claims commissioner that I have confidence in. So I don't know anything in particular about your claim. And I will bring another thing to your attention procedurally, which may become a problem. If I was to sit here in a vacuum and say, you look like lovely people, and I feel your pain, and that this body should grant you the permission to sue. Okay, let's just say, because that's what you want, right? Under our Constitution, it says that our state constitution says that a member of the public cannot be a recipient of a public emolument. And basically what that means is getting a benefit that others would not get. It's an equal protection sort of situation. So procedurally, if we were to say, yes, we grant you the permission to sue, and you go and sue in Superior Court, I'm going to guarantee you, the Attorney General's office is going to file a motion to dismiss saying it's a public emolument, and your case would go away, more than likely. Those motions have been successful. I don't want to put you in that position, okay? Do you think that if we were to grant an extension that 90 days would be acceptable so that you have something to look forward to?
It sounds like we don't have anything to look forward to. It sounds like exactly what I said, that everything is weighted and the scales of justice are 100% in favor of the state. To claim emolument is the same as saying, well, you can sue us, but you're not going to get anything. So we're just going to waste everybody's time and money and effort.
No, what I'm saying to you is the claims commissioner would have, let's just say we went down that road. The legislature would say you have 90 days from when we act on it to bring this file to a conclusion and then make a decision, either deny it or give a permission to sue.
But
And then if the claims commissioner gave you permission to sue based upon being able to pierce the sovereign immunity veil, then that gets rid of the public emolument situation because you have followed the process.
right.
But by this body, in my opinion, and I'm just speaking for myself, and I'm a lawyer, I work in this area sometimes. I'm concerned that if the legislature jumps the shark, so to speak, and just gives you the permission to sue, that you're going to end up in that public emolument thing. So I think a 90-day extension, given that we're going to have a new claims commissioner who's going to have to get up to speed, to earmark, certain files based upon, the oldest ones out, in should be the first ones out, would be an appropriate way to deal with this. And at least I think you have some closure. We had a couple come before us last year and they didn't know that they could object to the extension, but they didn't know where they might end up elsewhere. So I just wanted to, give you that information. And I think the chairman pointed out that number 123 on our agenda is your file.
162, I think it is.
162.
It's joint resolution 162, but on our agenda is number 123. You're correct.
Okay.
And I just had one other thing. You had mentioned that you've been in courts on this matter. What courts have you been in?
We've been in Danbury and Waterbury.
So Danbury Superior Court, Waterbury Superior Court.
Waterbury Complex Lit.
Okay. So.
And this has all been pro se. We don't have any attorney.
So I'm just trying to figure out procedurally.
Well, one of the problems is what I mentioned earlier, is that regardless of when or what the committee does, the statute allows the claims commissioner, even if we win, to vacate and dismiss the trial, whatever, if we win, because it says, if I can find it.
So I've got 3 cases in Danbury Court. I don't see anything in, so I've got Bank of America versus, I've got something involving a public adjuster,
Right.
and then something involving Millard, maybe.
Yeah, Miller, that was my wife's car accident.
Okay, so which one of, so the public adjuster or the Bank of America case are the ones?
It's public adjuster, and Liberty Mutual is also a defendant. I had them cited in. So there are two defendants, Liberty Mutual and the public adjuster, of which the court has given legal advice to both defendants' lawyers. He's held us to the very, very highest standards of legal compliance. He's delayed things. He's granted, I would say, 95 or 98% of the defendant's motions and denied all of ours. We tried to have him recused from my wife's car accident back in 2016, and he decided, no, that's a problem. You can't have the police policing themselves. It's a conflict of interest. You know, if there's a motion to recuse or a peremptory motion to disqualify, then the judge should not be allowed to make that decision or ruling himself. That's like putting a criminal on the jury.
Okay, I appreciate that. I just, now that I've been, focused on this case, you have a trial coming up next month.
Yes.
Well, I think it'd be improper for me, we're being taped here as far as procedure and all that stuff, and you're representing yourself. So I understand where you are, and I thank you for coming here and giving us your testimony.
So to go back to your question of, where do we go from here? We've already waited 3 years. You're going to grant the claims commissioner another 60 or 90 days.
So
And what happens if he doesn't comply?
So we don't know what we're going to do yet at all. We're here today listening to your testimony, considering the facts, considering the history of what's happened, and then at a subsequent meeting in the next 2 weeks, given our JF deadline, we will have a decision on what we're going to do. But no one today knows what the outcome is. Today is to listen to you, to get some more meat on the bone so that we can make that decision.
And if the claims commissioner denies our claim, we have no right to appeal. That is a problem. We should have a right to appeal. In fact, we shouldn't even, the entire claims commission department should be done away with. There's only Vermont and Connecticut that have it. It's
So,
draconian.
Sir, I'm going to ask, I understand I've been here for quite a few years listening to people and their claims. I recognize the frustrations. It's the reason why, as Representative Fishbein informed you, we have attempted to make changes. I'm not sure that we're finished with that, given the way that the process works. But I'm not trying to cut you off, but we are here to hear your claim and what you would like us to do with your claim today. We're not, there have been hearings and will be more hearings on the Claims Commission office, and we would invite you to participate in those. I'm going to check to see if there are other questions from members of the committee. Are there? Senator Kissel.
Thank you very much, Chairman Winfield. I heard you. We have wrestled with this for years. It's an abomination, the situation that we're in right now. The only assurance that I can give you is that we will be as thoughtful as possible to allow the doors of justice to open up for you. How that shakes out, I don't know. I will say this, you're probably in a fortuitous place time-wise in this respect, despite all your frustrations. Because we're in this change period, the candidate who has been nominated to become the next claims commissioner will be watching this on CTN and evaluating your situation and the others that are going to come before us today. And that individual will have a heavy burden to make sure that justice is done. So not only will they be closely watched in the early months of their tenure, assuming that they get approved, But I personally have the greatest confidence in this new individual. We have struggled with this, as my colleagues have said. We have changed some of the procedures. We have put in a huge amount of additional resources, staffing to get this situation, this loggerhead busted open and open the dam. It has not worked for whatever reason. And that was then, and this is now. So you just happen to come in when in a week or two, we're going to have a new individual before us, and they're going to say, and we're going to ask them, do you understand how impossible this situation is for law-abiding citizens of the state of Connecticut, and that justice is not being done? And so I'm hopeful. Does that mean that I have a magic wand? I do not have a magic wand. I wish I did in these instances, but I can tell you this: we will do everything that we can as a legislature. We take this very seriously. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to the state of Connecticut. Now, I understand you said the whole system should be chucked out. We're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. But at least you're in a position right now where we have a changing of the guard, and the new guard coming in, I have a lot of confidence in. So stay with us. Maybe it won't work out and you'll want to throw us all out along with the judicial branch. I get it. But give us a chance on this one, because you make a really good case. And don't give up on the system just yet. That's all I would say.
Would it be possible for us to meet with the new claims commissioner and help direct? Because we're down here in the trenches. You know, I've done a lot of legal research. I understand what's going on. And I think it would be very beneficial for the claims commission, or even this committee, to have lay people like myself involved, and not just judges and attorneys who look after each other and not really care about those of us on this side. So I think it, you know, and at the moment, the judiciary doesn't really have any capability of putting somebody like myself on a committee to help balance things out.
Yeah, I would offer you this, because you have a matter that assuming will come before the claims commissioner, it probably wouldn't be appropriate for you to interact with that individual prior to that individual reviewing your case. That being
That's,
said,
I understand.
I would find out when that hearing is, tune into CTN, or I think you can access it at any time if you do it via the web. Watch that hearing, because you'll see the interaction between members of this committee and that individual. Hopefully that'll give you some assurance that that person's going to be qualified for the job and take these matters to heart. But also, I would throw out there that if you have any specific questions, and it can't be like a million, I'm never going to do a million, but you can use my Kate McAvoy, my office. If you have like 2 or 3 pithy questions to act of this prospective claims commissioner, and I'd be happy to ask them on your behalf so that you're not in the middle of it because you have a pending matter. So I offer that, and I'm sure, I don't know who your legislators are, if any of them serve on the committee, or any of my colleagues here probably would be willing to afford that opportunity too. But I don't think it's good for you to be in the middle of that right now. But I can guarantee you that people are watching, and you're not, sadly, you're not alone in this. It's heartbreaking. I've been lucky enough to be elected to this position for now 31 years. And this has gone from bad to worse, despite our efforts, which is crazy, because there's a lot of things in this state where we've tried to make it better, and it's gotten better, even beyond my expectations. But this is an area that is just out of control. And so I'm hoping that this change is a new beginning. That's all I can say. Is I'm very hopeful. I don't want to give you false expectations. But I think that you're in a better spot.
Is the new individual a judge or an attorney? Does he have to be the?
We prefer lawyers, and he's a lawyer, but not a judge.
Thank you, Senator Kissel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Fishman again.
I just want to, I heard, sir, you say something about judges and lawyers not caring. I'm a little distressed by that, but I will bring to your attention that you are incorrect on the law with regard to an appeal. So a denial by the claims commissioner of a claim is appealable, but it comes to our committee for the appeal. That is the appeal. There's 42, I think, people on this committee in total. So there is an appeal process if your claim is denied, and I will tell you that judges and lawyers do care. So
But does it go through the appellate court or through the legislature?
it goes to individuals that are elected to the members of this body are elected. They're elected by, I mean, votes, right? So there are people on this committee that are not lawyers. They're, you know, regular people as you typified yourself. Yeah, there's more than no, I'm saying, you know, he said he's not a lawyer. So there are, I think there's more non-lawyers on this committee than there are lawyers.
So how do I get on that committee?
Well, you got to get your claim disposed
Well,
of first, okay? And I think I've given you enough information here today, and I thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Fishbein. Comment or question from other members of the committee? Comment or question? If not, one, the chair of the committee is not an attorney, but I don't think that matters. I think people, no matter what their avocation is, come in all different stripes. And there are people who care and there are people who don't care, of all different kinds. I think what is important is that this committee has been dealing with this issue for a very long time. I would tell you, though we may differ on many issues, when it comes to the issue of the claims commissioner, I think we all are either embarrassed or offended by the history, especially the recent history there. And there is an attempt on the part of the committee to get to justice for folks who have been denied justice for too long. I will also say to you that Senator Kissel said that he believes that there are eyes on this. I can assure you that at least the individual we've been talking about as the prospective new claims commissioner is listening to you. And with that, there are no more questions. I would invite you to watch the hearing, and we will render our assessment in the next 2 weeks.
And when is that going to be televised or streamed?
Is that Monday? When is his here? When it's Monday?
It's
yeah.
Monday. At what time? Any idea?
We begin every hearing at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So
Say something.
you have to turn your microphone on.
Is it on? The bigger picture here is accountability. So when someone is not being watched to do the right thing, and I think that's what's happened here. So in so many different scenarios, not just ours.
Yeah.
But when you're not accountable to anyone, you do whatever you want to do, take care of your own agenda. And that did not include us. So, or the regular people. So we need help. We elect all of you because we need help.
And ma'am, sorry, ma'am. I understand that. And I think what I'm trying to express to you is it is my firm belief that despite what has happened here, that this committee understands it, and the work of the committee in full is to make sure that we don't experience this as we go forward, and that those who are here because of what has happened get to a point where we can call what is happening justice. I don't think what we could look at right now and call is not, there's no justice there. So I'm going to say thank you for coming before us.
Could I ask just one last question, very, very briefly? Does this committee deal with issues and concerns with the Consumer Protection Division as well as the Insurance Commission? No,
Those generally would be in other committees.
there are other committees. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Is Leslie Roy here? Leslie Roy. Derek Bryant. Derek Bryant here online somewhere.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you may testify.
You can hear me?
We can.
Okay, how you doing today, committee?
Good.
Um,
I don't think we can see you. If you can, turn on your camera. If not, just continue.
all right, let me see how I turn it on. Allow. All right.
There you go.
Could you see me now?
We can hear and see you. You may proceed.
How are you doing today? I had a claim with the claim. I had a claim I put in over 6.5 years ago. It's a long time. I had a meeting at the Hartford. I'm looking at my notes as I'm talking to you, so I can remember what I'm saying to you guys. I never did nothing like this before in my life. I know how to read and write real good though. So basically, I went to I filled out the claim. I did everything right with the claim commissioner, Mr. Scott, which is a judge as well. I heard the other guy talking. Claim commissioners are judges, some of them. And I went to the hearing in Hartford, Connecticut, with the claim commissioner and the attorney general. We discussed everything about my matter on the case on a recorded conversation with a tape recorder in front of us. They agreed 70 to 75% in my favor. So I said, okay, no problem. So then I gave her all the evidence that I had submitted to them. They both went over it. We talked about it on a recorded tape recorder. They said they agreed in my favor. Then they told me call back, check on the case, on the prognosis, maybe, a couple months, keep checking on it. As I've been checking on it every year, Ms. Scott, the claim commissioner, I like saying nobody's name, but the claim commissioner always on vacation. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I called back, months later, always on vacation. This is 6.5 years. So I'm like, what's going on? So then I got a letter from the house to my house saying that they're gonna vacate the case and all this stuff like that. I'm like, vacated for what? Everything was submitted correctly. She agreed with the attorney general that I was 70 to 75% in the right, in my favor. So I don't understand. And then I was like, then we talked about the child support issue, about back child support. It was like $4,300 that the state made me pay, and I ain't supposed to pay it. But I paid it anyway now, because it's been 6.5 years. I'm all caught up on everything. I just don't understand why the claim commissioner didn't rectify the situation with me when she agreed to me with 70 to 75% in my favor and the attorney general. That's bad. 6.5 years, that's a long time. I know a lot of people listening to this, but that's a long time, especially when two people of the state and high in statute. And I know the claim commissioner is a judge because I looked it up. And then the attorney general say both of them there agreeing in my favor, 70 to 75% in my favor with a recorded tape recorder. I know you have it because I talked to the other guy at the claim commissioner office who walked me through this so I can speak to you guys. So they have the tape there. I said, thanks. I just wanted to know. I was understanding why she put me on the back burner. 6.5 years. That's a long time. I don't understand. For somebody to wait for a lawsuit case and all this stuff, and they got to pay money and all this stuff. You got to copy fees. You got to pay for copy fees, filing fees, this fees, that fees. That's a lot. Now I heard the other guy, like I said before me, his only 3 years. Mine almost 7. You just know what I mean? I don't know what to say, man. I don't really know what to say. I just know I got stiffed. I keep filling all the paperwork. I
Mr.
did
Bryan.
everything I was supposed to do.
Thank
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your time is elapsed. I don't know if you heard the bell. It's hard to hear the bell online.
Okay.
Your time is elapsed. I'm going to
Yes, sir.
committee if there are questions. Representative Fishbone.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here today. Now, do you know where your matter is on the docket? I've got an HJ 115. Is that you?
They gave me a file number. I got it right here in front of me. Sorry about that. I got a file number from the state of Connecticut. It says February 6, 2023. It says a file number 24754. It's a claims of Derek Bryant, file number 24752. Please be advised that the personal status, your claim number has been reported to the General Assembly. Any question regarding schedule should be addressed to the General Committee of the General Assembly at 860-240-0530. Tara M. DuPont, paralegal specialist.
All
That's
right,
all
so
I know.
I believe you're HJ 115 on our agenda. And you understand what is before us with regard to your case, that the claims commissioner is asking for an extension?
I don't know what, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just know to call you guys up. I know they send me papers that say denied or whatever. I know how to appeal it. I know to appeal it to you guys, or I talked to my uncle. He helped me out, Mr. William Bryant, Donald Bryant. They worked for the state for a long time, so they guide me in the right direction, and they tell me what to do and say and write. But I really don't understand. I really
Okay.
understand when I talked to the claims commissioner in my face, and she agreed, and the attorney general agreed. If they didn't agree, I wouldn't even write you guys or call you. I know there's a lot of people in the world that need you better than me, but they agreed 70 to 75% in my favor. That's why I don't understand. That's the only thing I don't understand about.
All right, so did you see the case before you? We talked with the couple that was
Yeah.
before
Yes, I watched them the whole way through. Yes, sir.
you. So if we were to grant the new claims commissioner an extension of 90 days to bring your matter to some sort of conclusion,
Yes.
would that be acceptable to you?
Yes, because I know about right and law. Everybody know right and wrong is wrong. Everybody knows that. And when they read the paperwork and go through the evidence, what you always do in life, I go through evidence. Like I watch Judge Judy. I mean, I go through all the evidence and they see everything is in the right. And she read the tape recorder that was recorded when my case was presented to the hearing committee in Hartford. Then I'd rather for her to go through it like that because she know right and wrong is wrong. You know what I mean, I'm not here to badmouth nobody. I know if it's a new commissioner, claim commissioner coming, I know she got to do better than the next person because this person 7 years, 6.5 years, that's a long time. So I can imagine everybody else. But if she hear the case over, I'm not mad. I'll be happy with that decision. 90 days, I'll be happy with it.
All right, well, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here, and I hope we can get some closure for you.
I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.
Hold on, don't leave. Senator Kissel.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, I thank you for your testimony this morning. I just want to compliment you. I've sat here for hours and hours on various matters over the years, and you're one of the few people that said, hey, listen, I think I have a beef, but if they didn't go 75% in my favor, I wouldn't bother you guys.
Yeah.
People that bother us all the time for the de minimis amounts of things. And so your whole approach is really fair and even-handed. So I just want to compliment you.
Thank you.
Treating us with respect and fairness. And like we told the previous couple, this is a horrible situation. We understand, we keep trying to fix it. But I think, again, it's almost like you said, all right, there's the old sheriff's leaving town, the new sheriff's
Yeah, you can't punish nobody for that. Can't punish you. I can't punish the old person for the new. You can't do that.
I really appreciate you've got a great outlook on life, and I think I'm hoping good things come your way. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, man. We all people out here in the world and life. We all people. So sometimes people get things mixed up. No disrespect to the other people. Things in life will happen. It'll go good in their favor. All you gotta do is let God first think about God, and then take your time. The people not reading and write. Y'all went to college, school, all type of stuff. When they read it and go through the documents and paperwork, y'all see what's right and what's wrong, what's right. That's how it go in life. You know what I mean?
Thank you,
I
Mr.
appreciate y'all, man. Have a good day.
Well, let me just check first before you leave. Are there other comments or questions from members of the committee? I don't see any. Listen, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. As I said to the couple, we are fully aware that the system has not worked for folks, and this committee is going to endeavor to get everybody to a space where we are in a better place. Thank you.
Appreciate your time and patience, man.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'll just check one more time because it was supposed to be in the room. Is Leslie Roy here? Leslie Roy. Those are all the people who have been signed up today. So with that, they one of the shortest public hearings we've ever had. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. And with that, we will call this public hearing to a close. Have a great weekend, everyone.